live action adaptations. We all know them. Most of us love them. And they've pretty much taken over the whole film space. If we look at the top 10 highest grossing films of all time, Avengers Endgame is number 2. A little below that, we got Infinity War. Below that, we got Spider-Man No Way Home. We're in the top 10 multiple times. That's crazy. With all this being made, with all this taking over our whole pop culture bubble, taking over the media, it begs the question: should we have our characters be as faithful as possible, or make dramatic changes? It's kind of debatable, you know. Some people say they need to be as faithful as possible. Some think we need to change them for other audiences, especially some lesser known characters. Your mom's not gonna know who everyone is. Your dad's not gonna know who everyone is. You're not gonna know who everyone is. Sometimes these changes are for the better. Like the X-Men, for example. In the live action X-Men films, they put more of an emphasis on the school. Not too much of an emphasis, but they had actual students living at the school, not just like 10 people. Go back to comics the next year with Grant Morrison's new X-Men. We got actual students living at the school again. I love that, by the way. I prefer that to just the main X-Men, then maybe a few little students like the New Mutants or whoever. Leech. I love Leech. Just living in the mansion with everyone. Or the Outback, wherever they are at the time. But I do gotta say, some of these changes can be bad. They can bring a lot of hate. For one, race swapping characters. A lot of characters get race swapped. Iris West, Barbara Gordon. Race swapping characters is a little crazy to me because a lot of the time, these characters' race is integral to who they are as a character. We got Bane, Doctor Doom, the Maximoff twins. Come on. We got so many that need to be casted correctly, but they're always whitewashed when they're moved to the big screen. And I'm not saying it's characters only being whitewashed. We also got characters being colored in like that, like have a little color in them. We got Iris West, Barbara Gordon, Simon Williams, Wonder Man. That was great, by the way. I really like the Wonder Man show. I should make a video about that. But yeah, a lot of characters have been race swapped when they've been adapted. This could be a good thing or a bad thing. Some characters it really doesn't matter for, like Iris West, the Gordons. Does it really matter if they're white or black? No. I feel like the race adds nothing to the character. You can do white or black. Barbara Gordon, she'll be fine. You know, like these aren't characters whose color of their skin, whose culture defines who they are. You know, you can have their personality, you can have their looks pretty much. Maybe not their looks. Their looks might be crazy. Be very similar, you know, and still be a faithful adaptation. The real problem comes when you start race swapping characters whose race is very built into who they are as a character. Like, take for example, if we do get that Ryan Gosling as Black Panther, what are we talking about? That would be crazy. Black Panther is very, very black. It's in his name. It's in everything he does. He's an African king from the nation of Wakanda. You can't race swap someone like that. And even then, it also works on a smaller scale. You take someone like Luke Cage, who's not a king, who's not rich, who just grew up in Harlem and has lived his life as a black man, being falsely accused of crimes. That, you can't change someone like that. His race shaped who he was as a person. So like, race swapping, it has its ups and downs, you know what I mean? Mostly downs, because a lot of these changes, they don't work for the better. But sometimes, it can add to a character. Simon Williams as Wonder Man, being a black man, that made me more interested in him than I ever was before. Like, I liked him. I thought his powers were cool. I always liked his costume. I never really liked him that much until he was cast as a black man. It wasn't just the fact that he was black. It was how he interacted with his family in the world in his new TV show, which is what really drove me to liking him. I saw myself in him. And I'm not saying you can't see yourself in characters that aren't the same race as you. I see myself in Peter Parker a lot when I'm watching a Spider-Man movie. I don't really read too many Spider-Man books. I see myself as Scott Summers when I'm reading X-Men. Speaking of X-Men though, my favorite X-Men character of all time has been adapted into live action twice. He's been in cartoons too. But every time he's been adapted, they erase his blackness. It's a little crazy to me. It's a little crazy. It's crazy to me. Because he's another character who has to be black. He's Afro-Latino. He's Brazilian, right? And like his whole character, his whole origin hinges on the fact that he's black. He's dark skinned, dark hair, kinky hair. Not kinky that way, you know. It's integral to who he is as a character. Let's get into his backstory, because that's really where it comes into play the most, you know? Roberto da Costa is the son of a billionaire, a black billionaire, and an American archaeologist, right? Okay. He's mixed. Cool. He plays soccer. He's goated at soccer, okay? He's on the team, and they're like trying to train him because they think he could be good enough to be in the Olympics. Excellent. He's perfect, right? Boom. He's at a soccer game, okay? Other team. Not a lick of color on this other team. He starts beating them. What do? They go up to him, start attacking him. They start calling him names. They call him half-breed. What are we talking about? Half-breed? He's getting hate crimed based off of the color of his skin, based off of his race. You see what I mean? You can't take away his blackness on screen, because that's integral to who he is as a character. In fact, during this attack, he unlocks his powers. He activates his powers. He can harness powers from the sun. He gains super speed, super strength, super speed, fire powers. He's called Sunspot. He's Sunspot. But when he activates his powers, his skin goes from brown black to just straight up black. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Like, are you understanding what I'm saying? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Blackness is so integral to his character. When he activates his superpower, he just straight up turns black. You can't take that away from him. Tell me why both times he's been adapted into live action, he hasn't been portrayed as a dark-skinned actor, by a dark-skinned actor. You're telling me you can't find a Brazilian man with brown skin, hair like this? Like, you know you can. They're everywhere in Brazil. Come on, can we be so serious right now? Why is he played by just a straight-up Mexican? Why is he played by very light actors? Not an inch of blackness in their DNA. Both times he's in live action, he's played by Adam Cantu, may he rest in peace, and Henry Zaga. And I gotta say, they are very good actors. They get his personality very good. Henry Zaga gets his personality very right. I like how he acts. It's just, he's not the character I know, you know? Adam Cantu, he probably could have played his character very well, but like he was only in it for 2 minutes, he died. He was in Days of Future Past, you know? When they pull up and the Sentinels kill him, immediately he dies ASAP. So I guess, maybe, cool. He doesn't even get screen time. I don't think they name him in the movie. They don't say, it's Sunspot! You know, I think he just pulls up, fights, dies. The problem with this isn't just that they don't look like the character at all, which takes away from many people who are fans of the characters and many kids who can become fans of the character, and many people who are properly represented in the comics by him. Representation matters, okay? Representation matters. You can't take away representation from people. People see people who look like them on TV, changes their lives, you know? But there's another issue with this. These actors, because they're not black, they can't properly portray how Sunspot could react to his hate crime. They can't properly portray who he is fully. Because they don't have the full experience, you know what I mean? That's why we needed an Afro-Latino, maybe a Brazilian, most likely a Brazilian, to play him. Because, like, they lived with these experiences. This is how you act. You can pull back from your past, your lived experiences, to bring out into a character. And for someone who isn't darker skinned, someone who isn't black, to play someone who's been hate crime due to the fact that they're black, it just doesn't work, right? But yeah, I feel like the people who made the New Mutants movie with Sunspot as a main character recognize this, because they changed his backstory. Not only is he just not half black anymore, they completely changed how he activated his powers and his past. Instead of being at a soccer game getting a hate crime, he was doing some nasty things with a girl. I can't hold you. He was doing. This is a video for another day. He was doing some freaky stuff, right? Mid stroke, powers activate. Crazy. It's crazy. It's absurd. His powers activate, burns the girl he's with alive. Okay. That's actually very interesting. I like that. But they took away from his already traumatic backstory. For what? To better match the vibes, better match the themes of self-hatred. I don't see that happening. I feel like his backstory of being hate crimed could really add to those themes, especially the outcast themes. They didn't change too many other people's backstories. Wolfsbane still has a very similar backstory. Like, I just don't like how they changed the only black character in the film. They made him not black, and they changed his whole backstory. You could have used any other character. I get that this is a New Mutants film. There's more New Mutants. Magma has a very similar power set to Sunspot. And she's not black. You could have put her in there. Boom. See how I just created a new thing on the spot? A new storyline on the spot? A new character that better matches what you're trying to do without erasing representation? It's not easy. It's not easy. These comics have been around forever, for years. There's so much history you could pull from. Why are you erasing black representation? Why are you erasing Afro-Latino representation when you can just easily put Magma in that movie? Come on, that's right there. Like, that's not it. There's one other black character in the film, except she's not black in the film. In the comics, she's black. Cecilia Reyes, she's an X-Men. She's a doctor, very smart, very cool. In the movie, she's not black. Okay, crazy. She's not an X-Men. She is a doctor, but every other thing that makes her character is not here. This is in no way a Cecilia Reyes adaptation. At least with Sunspot, they got his powers and his personality right. With Cecilia Reyes, just use a different character. Just use a different name at that point. Because you're not adapting Cecilia Reyes from the X-Men. You just made a whole new character. Like, there's only one singular similarity. What's the point? You can't even get the powers? Her powers aren't even that crazy. Actually, I take that back. She did have powers. She did have her force field powers. She just uses it in very different ways. Like, she has a barrier around the whole location they're in, and she's using it to block everyone in. That's cool. It's not how she normally uses it, but I guess it is what it is, you know. Another problem with that movie is Magic is racist. You know Magic. She's very popular nowadays, especially from Marvel Rivals. She's racist in that movie for no reason. She's going around calling Daddy Moonstar a Native American. She's all like, "What are you doing, Pocahontas?" I can't do that accent. I'm sorry. Is that racist? I don't think it is. This is a Russian accent. I can't do a Russian accent. But like, she's calling her Pocahontas. She's saying all these crazy things. Why? She doesn't do that. Magic's not racist. Why'd they do that to her? Like, I don't... Whatever. Okay. The movie came out 6 years ago. I don't even know why I'm tripping. You know, like... Yeah. The point I'm trying to make is these changes to these characters, these race swaps, these negative race swaps, ones where the race is integral to their character, taking that away from them when they get adapted into film, it's very problematic. It's very harmful. It's very dividing. One, it isolates fans who are already fans of this character. It isolates people who are already fans of this character. It prevents younger fans of this character to really get into it, you know? Like, if you were a kid and you saw New Mutants in theaters when it first came out, you would have been like, oh my god, Sunspot's so cool, and he looks just like me. If he was actually Afro-Latino and you're a little Afro-Latino kid, right? No, they took it away. Are we serious? Why are we doing this? It's not a good look at all. But yeah, that's it for this video. My first ever video. Like, comment, subscribe, please. Please tell me what y'all thought. Give me any notes, anything, you know. I'm open for whatever. I'll be looking in the comments. I don't got nothing better to do. Like, I got no subscribers. Come on. But yeah, please share it with your friends. I tried to get this video out in February. It's Black History Month. I wanted to talk about this in Black History Month. Yeah. I'm Jared. I talk about anything. Comment anything you want to see. I'm down for whatever. If I see a good video suggestion, why wouldn't I take that? Like, come on. It's right there. Like, are you serious? All right. Yeah. Thank you. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm goated. Crack.